Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about a question from a baffled European. Just like it's sometimes hard for Americans to understand the internal political dynamics in other countries, sometimes it's really hard to imagine how we in the United States appear to people in other countries. We've got a question from a European that's worth going over. Quote, question from baffled European. In all the talk about balancing the U.S. budget, there's constant talk about cuts to this or that service. But there's rarely talk about tax increases, whether general or targeted, except for the Trump tariffs. They talk about running the country like a business, but in business, it's usually better to increase sales before cutting costs. I get that putting taxes up is unpopular, but some of the biggest growth the U.S. had experienced was during the post-World War II period, with very high taxes. Is it impossible for that to be the solution to the problem? Thanks for all the work you do. Okay, so there's a number of things in the American national character that impact this. The first is the beginning of the country. Opposition to taxes is our origin story. No taxation without representation is taught to every school kid. So, deep down, Americans have an ingrained opposition to them in all their forms. The next little piece is the myth of the rugged individualist. There are large segments of the American population who believes that the country was founded by solitary pioneers, quote, taming the West. They picture the lone cowboy traveling alone across the frontier towards the setting sun, not the lengthy wagon trains and massive amounts of cooperation. Next is that the wealthy in the U.S. have used these two parts of the national identity along with a widespread misunderstanding of how class mobility in the U.S. works, or doesn't work, to get the working class to go against their own interests. Over and over and over and over again, people actually fight against taxes on the wealthy because they believe taxes are bad, that a real American is an individualist, and that getting anything from the government is bad. And they believe one day they will be the billionaire. Your actual question was, I get that putting taxes up is unpopular, but some of the biggest growth the U.S. had experienced was during the post-World War II period with very high taxes. Is it impossible for that to be the solution to the problem? No, that is the solution. It's absolutely the solution. Increasing taxes on the wealthy is the solution. But good luck convincing those who would benefit from it that it's the solution. But there is a little bit of good news. Many Americans don't understand how much government spending affects their livelihoods. In many ways, it's willful ignorance, so they can maintain their individualist image. But many of them are about to have to face it. Trump's disruptions to federal spending are going to have big impacts on the economy, and many people who have no idea their job is created or boosted by federal money are about to face a hard reality. But until Americans realize that those at the top have played their identity to get them to go against their own interest, people who are part of the group who are not net federal taxpayers will demand tax cuts for the rich. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.